Hello, Dr. Hulsebus here, coming at you with another live webinar. And today we want to talk about seniors. Last couple of times we talked about kids and other things, but today I want to focus on our senior population and some of the roles chiropractic plays for them. Now, as a chiropractor, my greatest concerns when it comes to seniors is falling down. I have seniors that come here all the time that fall. And so today we want to look at chiropractic care and how we can actually help prevent some of these falls. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through, we're going to watch some of the research, talk about the research, and then what we're going to do is review the research afterwards. I'm going to try to break it down in English for you so you understand a little bit how it works and how we treat things here clinically. So when it comes to chiropractic and seniors, those over 65, chiropractic care does really well with them and with everyone, including them. As far as Medicare is concerned, my grandfather was one of the chiropractors that helped write the Medicare laws. My father is the one in 2000 that went to Washington, D.C., testified in front of Congress to defend the Medicare laws. And I am currently working on some legislative today to help improve our Medicare laws. I actually was elected to be the Medicare chairman of our national association at one time. I have stepped down because of family commitments, but I'm still very, very, very involved in some of this legislative stuff. So as far as Medicare coverage at chiropractic, our clinic is very, very well rehearsed in how that all works. So if you have any questions about that stuff, let us know. But today, let's talk about the care, not the coverage. So we're going to dive in here. Dr. Havoc has a research clinic over in New Zealand. She has a lot of research for us. So I'm going to play one of her videos, and I'll be right back afterwards, and we'll kind of break down what we learned. All right, let's get started.
Chiropractic care can be great for older adults. Research is showing us that it can really make a difference to your health, function, and quality of life as you age. With age comes wisdom, but age can also come with problems. Older adults may face memory loss, frailty, falls, arthritis, visceral and metabolic disorders, depression and anxiety, hearing and vision impairments, functional decline, and a host of other problems. But it doesn't have to be an inevitable downhill health spiral. There is such a thing as healthy aging. Your choices and actions can postpone or even reduce some of the undesirable effects of aging. The goal of healthy aging is to maintain physical and mental health, avoid diseases and disorders, and maintain active and independent. Healthy aging does require some effort on your part, but the results can be very rewarding and give you more control over your aging experience. Chiropractic care is an essential cornerstone of healthy aging. This is because chiropractors are in a unique position to help you maintain and even improve your overall function, health, and quality of life. Let's take a closer look at a couple of recent studies that indicate chiropractic care can have a protective role in preserving functional ability and self-rated health. Conducted at the University of Iowa and published in 2014, these two studies looked at older adults and their ability to carry out activities of daily living, such as eating, bathing, dressing, grooming, using the phone, handling finances, housekeeping, cooking, shopping, using transportation, walking across the room, and taking medication. As we age, it can become more difficult to carry out these sorts of tasks due to a decline in physical and cognitive function. Thousands of older adults with back conditions were followed up over several years. Those who had received chiropractic care were compared with those who were seeing medical doctors for their healthcare needs to see if these two groups were different. The researchers compared their general health status and their ability to carry out these activities of daily living. The researchers found that people who had received chiropractic care maintained their ability to carry out these activities and had a higher self-rated health status compared to people who received medical care. The older adults who saw chiropractors maintained their ability to live independently, look after themselves, and preserve their health. Those who did not see chiropractors saw a notable decline in these areas. These studies suggest that older adults who receive chiropractic care are in a better position to maintain their ability to live independently and look after themselves. And they also feel healthier. So it's very likely that chiropractic care really can add life to our years. Choose chiropractic care for yourself and your family and reap the benefits of healthy living and healthy aging.
So how does that work, and what's going on with that? So there's two things you'll see on somebody who just got over a major healthcare problem or is near the end of their life. And there's two things all these people have in common, and that's the loss of extension and the loss of proprioception. So let's talk about that real quick. What is proprioception? Well, proprioception is like right now I can see my hand. You can see my hand. It's right in front of me. I know exactly where it is. Now I'm going to put it behind me, and I can't really see it now. I mean, I can because of the TV, the monitor here, but I can't really see it, but I know where it is. So proprioception is knowing where you are in space. You'll see that this is really obvious in people who just got over a healthcare crisis or near the end of their life, because when they walk, they watch their feet. Or when they go to sit down, they're looking left and right and they're going real slow. They're trying to make sure they don't miss the seat or the bench they're going to sit on. So you see that people, when they're having health problems or near or losing their health, they lose the ability to propriocept. The other thing you're going to see is they lose the ability to extend. What do I mean by that? When you look at them, even in that drawing we just watched, they're always like hunched over. They're always in like a fetal position. You see, that's a protective position. That stimulates things inside your spinal joints. That's catabolic, meaning that it's dealing with the stress more than helping you grow and repair yourself. And that's what chiropractic adjustments are the opposite of. Chiropractic adjustments are trying to stimulate the proprioceptive and the extension stuff. That's why I love yoga, right? So I think everyone should be doing yoga, beginner's yoga, and I don't think you should ever graduate. I think you should stay in beginner's yoga. But when you come to the chiropractor, when you get a chiropractic adjustment, the part of the spine that we stimulate are those proprioceptive receptors. And by getting those fired up and making those work, we slow down the aging process. We slow down the extra stress. We get you in that better posture. We get the spine moving and stimulate those things. When those are not stimulated, the arthritic process starts to advance rapidly. And that's why we see this people near the end of their lives or just getting over a major healthcare crisis. So that's the main benefit of coming to the chiropractor, is having those work. So if you're a senior and you've been walking around with this stress for many, many, many years, and you start to see those posture changes, we try to reverse those. We want to get in there and do the adjustments. Now we change our adjustments. So if you're told you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, we change our adjustment styles. We won't adjust you like we take care of these guys over here, the ice hogs, right? We use different techniques and different styles. We take x-rays, we do examinations to figure out what type of adjustments are safe and best for you. So we're not going to treat you the same way. Just like we wouldn't adjust a newborn baby the same way, right? We change the care for them too. So our main goal when you come in here is to make sure that you're not going through the arthritic process by having that hunching, that extra stress, and having that lack of proprioception. We won't make you say that word. We'll teach it to you, but we won't make you say it. So that's the main things we look at. Now, obviously, if you don't know where you are in space, that becomes a different problem now. Now we start worrying about falling down. If we're watching our feet when we walk, we're walking into things. And if we don't know where our feet are, it's easy to trip and stumble over them. So let's talk a little bit now about the risk of falls.
As we age, our risk of having a fall increases. Every year, about 1/3 of older people have a fall. Falls are the leading cause of injury-related hospital admissions and deaths in older people, so they're a major problem. Did you know that many researchers think that chiropractic care can help you maintain balance and prevent you from falling over? Let's take a closer look at one study that was recently conducted in New Zealand that investigated whether chiropractic care could help brain function that is important to prevent falls. 60 Auckland-based older adults participated in this randomized controlled trial. Half were randomized into receiving 12 weeks of chiropractic care, and the other half were a control group who didn't get adjusted. One of the outcome measures they looked at was called the choice stepping reaction time. This was tested by getting participants to stand on a platform that had 4 panels that could light up. When a panel lit up, they'd have to stand on it as quickly as they could. If we take a look at this graph, the red line is the chiropractic group and the blue line is the control group. The higher the line, the longer it took the older people to take a fast step. What they found was that after 4 weeks, neither group had changed much in the speed at which they could take a step. But after 12 weeks, there was a dramatic, significant improvement in the chiropractic group. The improvement seen in this study was actually 2.5 times greater than a large clinical trial that looked at the effects of 6 months of exercise on the same stepping task. Being able to take a fast step is really important because researchers have shown that people who are quicker at taking a step are less likely to fall. It's important to note that for the changes to take place, it took more than 4 weeks of chiropractic care. This suggests that chiropractic care has a cumulative effect, and it can take time for some nervous system changes to take place when you or your family start under care. Another outcome measure the researchers in New Zealand looked at was called multisensory integration. This basically means how we process information from our different senses together to work out what's happening in and around us. The test they used in this study looked at how accurately the older adults combined sight and sound. Previous research has shown that older people in general struggle to accurately process sound and visual information together, and older people who have falls are particularly bad at doing this. Because it takes them longer to combine information from their different senses, it means they can't respond appropriately if they're faced with a potentially hazardous situation like a slip or a trip. What the researchers in New Zealand found was that after 4 weeks, the chiropractic group had become better able to accurately process sound and visual information. And they got even better at it after 12 weeks. This is pretty amazing because no one else has been able to improve this kind of multisensory processing before, and we know this is important in preventing falls. Another outcome measure the researchers looked at was joint position sense in the ankle. They found that people who received 12 weeks of chiropractic care became significantly better at knowing where their foot was, compared to those who did not get adjusted. This is really important because if your brain doesn't know what's going on in your ankle, you may not be able to accurately sense what's happening if you're slipping or tripping. This may make it harder to recover from a slip and stop yourself from falling. The interesting thing is that the chiropractors in this study didn't do anything to the participants' ankles. All they did was adjust subluxations in their spines. Restoring proper spinal movement seems to improve the way their brains and ankles communicated, improved their brain's ability to process sound and visual information, and enhanced their ability to take a compensatory step. And they even felt better physically too. Chiropractic care is an essential cornerstone of healthy aging. By restoring proper spinal function, your brain is better able to perceive what's going on in and around you. Make sure you see a chiropractor to help you maintain and even improve your overall function, health, and quality.
Alrighty. Sorry about that. We had a little jump in the system, but we're back. So, healthy aging and falling, and what I was talking about, the idea that if you fall down, hurt yourself, it's really, really common, good way to get severe injuries. But if you know where you are in space and time, you can do a lot better. So that's kind of the goals, is to make sure all that stuff is functioning the way it's supposed to be. Chiropractic adjustments, again, help with all that. So I am a big fan of making sure you get that proprioceptive signals fixed. Now, I talked about some of those people taking extra time to get better. Now, why did it take extra time? Well, the longer you have something, the longer you deal with something, the longer it takes to go away. So if I've been walking around with a really bad spine for a long time, some of those receptors have stopped having to learn how to work. They don't respond as quickly as they used to. So the longer you've been off, the longer it takes to fix it. That's why they said about the 4 weeks and after 12 weeks. This is why, like I talked about the other video, when we have small children, we get better really quick right away, because the small children, they don't walk around there for years and years and years. And the reason why the falls are so important is because walking is so important. You see, you have no direct blood supply going to the vertebral disc of your spine. The only way to get nutrients in there is by walking. But if you're walking, you're falling down, and this is a bad thing. So as chiropractors, by able to keep you walking, by keeping the fear of falling down to go away, we keep you healthier, stronger, and longer too. This is a good reason why it's good to come in and get your chiropractic adjustments regularly. So again, to recap, going to the chiropractor helps with the proprioception, knowing where you are in space so you don't trip and fall, you know how to perform better. And it also helps with extension, the ability to keep yourself pulled back rather than all hunched over all the time. So that's kind of the goal of coming to the chiropractor. And it works in young, and it works in old, and it works in everybody. So again, there's some research there to show you the safety of chiropractic. There's some research there to show you that we understand how Medicare works. And I'm going to finish up here with one last video and then take it from there.
Did you know that many research studies have shown that chiropractic care can change brain function? Let's look at one of these studies. This one explored the brain's ability to sense the position of the elbow when the arm is moved. The study involved 25 people with low level of neck pain and 18 healthy people with no pain at all. The healthy group was the control group. All of the participants were tested for their brain's ability to determine the exact position of their elbow joint. They were shown how to position their arm while lying down, and then were asked to reproduce this angle with their eyes closed. A fancy tool called an electrogoniometer was used to ensure that the findings were very accurate. The healthy control group was very good at knowing exactly where their elbow was positioned and could consistently reproduce the elbow position. But the group that suffered with low-level neck pain were not so good at knowing where their arms were. The group with low-level neck pain was then given chiropractic adjustments. After this, they were better at repositioning their arm. Their brains were better able to see where their arm was after they were adjusted by the chiropractor. This study was really cool because it shows that improving the function of your spine can not only help your brain see what's going on in your spine, but it can also help improve the way your brain sees what's going on in your arms. There are many more research studies like this that demonstrate all sorts of benefits from receiving chiropractic care, such as improved visual acuity and visual field size, reaction times, brain processing times, joint position sense in your ankle, spinal function, muscle strength in your legs, and prevention of muscle fatigue. We'll explore more of this research in future videos. In the meantime, make sure you get yourself checked by your chiropractor.
So there's some more research kind of saying the same thing. Again, once you understand where proprioception is and you understand how chiropractic can affect that, this all makes a lot of sense. So if you know someone who has a fear of falling and breaking their hip or their arm, or if you know someone that you notice is a little bit more clumsy, they would be a good person to refer in here. When they come in, we're going to take their x-rays and we're going to see exactly what's going on with their spine. We'll do some examinations too to see what's going on with their overall, how their body functions with that x-ray. And then we'll give them chiropractic care. We'll lay it all out for them before we get too started. So if you know someone that's interested, please give us a call. Come on in for a consultation. We'll go over it with you. If you've had x-rays of your spine taken somewhere else, we can use those. We'll get a request and we'll have them sent to us. So I hope this is a little educational for you, a little bit why we worry about seniors and falling down and how we can play a role and help them prevent that. There's no reason to wait, though, till you're a senior, right? There's no reason to start care once you get to a certain age and try to catch up. You can start anytime you want to. If you have a question about anything we went over, please come in and talk to us. We'd love to go over with you more. Come back here next month, the first Tuesday of every month. I do a webinar where we kind of do the same format. I break it down. Next month, we're going to talk a little bit about cardiac and overall health with your cardiac system and stuff like that, how chiropractors might play a role in blood pressure and hypertension, stuff like that, some of the benefits we found over the years. Yeah, reach out to us, questions or problems. I hope it's educational and hope to see you back here next month. We'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.